Hello YouTube, this is the Gentleman Scholar here. Welcome from my stoop, as Umfidis Tabo would say, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Just trying to get this thing lit. I'm smoking something called Queen Anne's Revenge. Gift from a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine up in Nova Scotia. His name is Norm. He's considered to be kind of like a long lost uncle that just happens to speak English. All my uncles speak French up in Quebec. But Norm has pretty much the same disposition as my uncles. You know, hang out, have a good time, drink, talk, drink some more, have a good time some more. So, and he seems to dig my warped sense of humor on Facebook. So, hey, that's the solid stuff that friendships are based on. Nothing special about today's video, really. Probably just some shout-outs. Discovered Olive Wood Piper, relatively new guy. He's from Brooklyn, New York. I could listen to him talk all day, because I dig his accent. And he's sharing, in his YouTube videos, he's sharing, like, memories of his Brooklyn childhood, which I really enjoy, so I'm glad I discovered him. And there's, let's see, who else? Of course, Stephen Beerbeard. Always a pleasure to listen to him, because you couldn't get any more Londoner than Beerbeard. Stephen. And of course, he likes to share tales of his youth as well. And every now and again, he'll let loose with an awesome Briticism, I like to call them. Like, the acorns are coming down at a feral speed. He was doing a video out in his backyard, and the acorns were coming down, and his dog was eating them and getting sick off them. And I understand one of them like cracked off the top of his head, and he goes, "I should have been wearing a tin cap," because it looked like it hurt. Gotta say. One of the best smokes I ever had, actually, in terms of how it's going and how it tastes. So maybe I'm getting used to this pipe smoking thing. I'm taking after Olive Wood Piper. He talks and does a couple puffs between sentences so he can keep it lit. Good habit to learn. Also, found a new YouTube presenter called Reddle Rick. He's from Wolverhampton, England. And again, I have a soft spot for the British. But he did a video from one of his locals. He's fond of Dracula pipes, apparently, which I didn't know about until I ran into his channel. I'm going to have to eventually clean out this pipe, like we're talking retort clean it eventually. This is my first pipe I ever bought, actually. This Church Warden, and it's ghosting. It's ghosting every single tobacco I ever put in it, so it's probably right about that time. but it's so much work. This is late summer up here in New Hampshire, in the colonies, and when I was a kid, this would be pretty much the time mentally I'd be climbing up the stairs up to the, what do they call it, up to the gallows, because that's what it felt like going back to school. And yeah, I'm not going to make any secret about it. I couldn't stand school. I really couldn't. For me, it was a prison. Hated it. If you weren't wearing the right clothes, if you weren't wearing the right labels, the fashion police would come and get you. If there wasn't a Nike stripe on your sneakers, or if you didn't have the Levi's tag in the back of your jeans, or if you weren't wearing Timberland boots, what have you, man, you must be on welfare, or something like that. You know, it was all status related. And I have to say, back to school shopping was kind of depressing. Right around this time, right in the beginning of August, you start seeing it, back to school ads. Jove, I think I'm losing it. I'm gonna have to light it again. You see all these back to school ads, all these smiling school children going through the department store. Excuse me. Inhaled that one by mistake. They're all going through the department store, buying their fresh notebooks, pens, pencils, the whole thing. And they actually look like they're happy to go back to school. Insane. And you get the odd one, like my husband's granddaughter, who actually loves school. Well, good for her. She can keep loving it. Remember, my mom used to take me down to Bon-Tons right here on Elm Street, Manchester. And it was a clothing store for big kids, you know. So she'd pick out like possibly the most fashion tone deaf thing I could wear. Well, I guess, for example, a pair of corduroy jeans, which were, I guess, big in the late 70s, early 80s, who knows. But anyway, being a big kid, should be squeezed into them, squeeze into those pants, and then I had to go do the walk, the shuffling walk. I don't know what the hell that was supposed to accomplish, or how that was factored into making your decision to buy me those clothes, but whatever, I did it, and I hated doing it, I hated every minute of it. Hello? Back in the day, buying lunch boxes, back when I was younger, I really did enjoy looking for lunch boxes. And when I was in junior high school, that's when the shark was jumping the whole lunchbox thing. They went from embossed lunchboxes to the flat metal lunchboxes to the plastic boxes with a decal sticker slapped on top of it. Lame. Pretty much from my childhood started jumping the shark right there. Lunchboxes being, something kids didn't take to school anymore. And also, even if you did, the boxes sucked. I'm losing it there. Yep, it's gone. Oh well, good smoke though, I think. Yeah, lunchboxes. I have to say, I got a chance to revisit that little thrill, I should say. I remember 10 minutes. That's good. Back back I was shopping at my favorite store, Newbury Comics. They sell music, CDs, vinyl, hipster wear, comic books, clothing lines, everything. Everything so you can, your one-stop pseudo-hipster store, basically. But they actually had, in their used DVD section, a Land of the Lost box set. There's only 3. It's a kids show back in, I want to say the mid-'70s, done by Sid and Marty Krofft Studios. And it made the old Doctor Who's look like they had a vast budget, okay? Just put it that way. The basic concept is you had this family during a trip to a U.S. national park, an earthquake hits, and they get sucked into a crack in the mountain down a waterfall, and they're stuck in the Land of the Lost, which is like some pocket universe with dinosaurs, these savage reptilioid creatures called the Sleestaks. That's what everyone remembers this show for anyway, the Sleestaks mostly. But actually, to be honest, it was written by some episodes were written by some of science fiction's most regarded writers, like Ben Bova. Was it David Brin or Ben Bova? I know David Gerrold, he's a science fiction writer. He oversaw the whole thing, and he actually got them out of the land. It's one of those shows where they're trapped there, and if they ever find a way home type thing, that's the end of the show. Sort of like Gilligan's Island, except with far more brains. Land of the Lost was actually a pretty high-concept show. Too bad the budget couldn't support those concepts, but I digress. Anyway, they actually encased all 3 series in the old lunchbox, the old Land of the Lost lunchbox they used to have. So I just bought the $15. I just bought it like in a heartbeat because I get to have a replica of the lunchbox. It's iconic 70s TV show and of my childhood, midlife crisis purchasing, and it was just a nice care to have it in. So if you were a kid growing up in the 70s, Land of the Lost was probably a show you watched. But I still have a great love for it in that ridiculous movie with Will Ferrell about 10 years back. That's a show that could stand a revamp. It could stand a miniseries of some, because there's lots of really great ideas in there. But again, if you try to watch it now on your own, you'll just roll your eyes because the budget really sucks. And I know I've had some friends try to watch it with me, and they just roll their eyes. I guess you kind of had to be there when you were when you were a kid, impressed by that sort of thing. Yeah. But this is the time of year I would not look forward to. I would not like going back. That meant it was almost over. Summer was ending, and you had your chance to have fun, and now it was never coming again. Back to school with you, boy. Back to school. Have a blast. Get those notebooks filled up. Be stressed about tests. The whole thing. Yeah, just glad it's over. I'm sorry, not to sound bad, not to sound all pissy about school, but it's a social thing. It's a social obligation I had to endure, and I did it, and I'm glad it's over. And it's probably why I haven't achieved a job of great prestige because of that laziness, because I'm a flight attendant. I fling peanuts and pretzels for a living, and I pretend to look out for people's safety in the aircraft. I say pretend because safety is supposed to be a big thing in the air industry, but it's only ever a big thing if it actually cuts into business, if it cuts into the turning around of a plane, or if someone's going to sue or something like that. That's when safety seems to matter most. But I'm not going to rant about that, ruin this summer day with job bitching. To be honest, work is going pretty well. I'm working just enough to get the bills paid, and which is just fine with me. Gives me more time to hang out on this deck. And I can't say I'm a huge pipe smoker, but smoke the occasional pipe, read a lot of books, a lot of comics, which I'm into. But yeah, I guess I'm just a loafer at heart. What can I say? Alright, before I let you go, I'm going on 15 minutes. I'll mention a couple of things that have my attention, media-wise. Number one, I just finished a book called Neither Snow Nor Rain. Of course, I can't remember the author's name. I cannot, but it's a history of the U.S. Postal Service. And very educational. I did not know Ben Franklin was our first U.S. postmaster. I didn't know it was that political of an office, which apparently it is. Did not know that the zip code was invented in 1963. I didn't know that once upon a time you could actually throw a name and a street number on an address, name, street number, not even the number of the street, in the state. And a lot of postmasters are so excellent at it, they could get it right to the door because they knew exactly what the person meant. Of course, the handwriting would have to be pretty decent. But yeah, that was pretty educational. A lot of names flying at you. A lot of names of founder of this, founder of that. And unless it was like really important, I just kind of to let them gloss over. But yeah, very educational stuff. It's a good companion piece to a book called To the Letter, which is a history of the letter, and I'm a big letter writer. So such things fascinate me. Also, another thing, musically, I'm a big music fan. Amy Mann's mental illness album I really enjoy. She was once with a band called Till Tuesday, and I'm sure at least a few of you have heard the song Hush Hush, Voices Carry. Everyone, it's an 80s, it's on every single 80s Beat It to Death list. But they put out 3 good albums as Till Tuesday, and I think Amy Mann has like 8 albums total, counting the one she did with Ted Leo. They called themselves The Both. It was a collaborative project. But this particular album is called Mental Illness, and she never was the cheeriest of songwriters, but this is the kind of melancholia that I really dig, that sort of elegant, weary futility, and it's very, very melodic too, so it stays stuck in your head. And just the turn of phrase that she has combined with the music, it's very folky, this particular album, very stripped down acoustic and folky, but I don't know, I guess if you're a fan of like Leonard Cohen, that kind of thing, although I think she's somewhat brighter than Leonard Cohen, or Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, or that kind of thing, give it a try. I think you'd enjoy it. Just go to Spotify and check it out. I'm sure she's on Spotify. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going on 17 minutes. I just wanted to say hello. A couple more shout-outs. Holy Smoking Pipe Padre, Umfidis Tabo, Wharf Valley Boy. I hope I got that one right. A special shout-out to him. He was feeling low, so I kind of reached out a little bit because I know what depression's all about. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well, and drop a line, subscribe, comment. If it's going to be a negative comment, for what I can't imagine why, but if it's going to be a negative comment, keep it polite, please. And I hope all is well. Thank you for killing 18 plus minutes with me. 18 minutes you'll never get back. Have a good one. Take care. Cheers.